All right. Fuck! Damn it! This is serious times. We are taking out the smart person blue light glasses for this conversation. No, I don't know if I can do it like this. There's so much glare. Okay, we're done with the blue light glasses. But nevertheless, this is a serious conversation that I cannot believe that I need to have with everyone that might watch this video. Speaking of everyone who might watch this video, remember to subscribe, because how will you know when I criticize UChicago students if you never see my videos? So consider, because I make them quite often, because hobbies are nice. Back to it, alright? You might not know this if you're not a part of the UChicago bubble, but people very often shit on the new business econ major. It is not quite a business major, but rather its official title is, and I quote, Economics with Specialization in Business Economics. This major is very much a mouthful, and there are lots of people that are not quite fans of this new program. Reddit is especially brutal because I believe that it is much easier to write a scathing review than a positive one. So without further ado, I'm going to explain why I think that business econ is valid. And look, I wrote a whole paper on it, just in preparation for this video. My boy John List, I'm doing this for you, okay? I should probably preface this video by talking about why I'm even making this video. My original plan when I was coming to university was to major in econ, and I still am interested in econ, but I'm more interested in the practical applications of econ rather than this theoretical math side, which for me is absolutely horrendous. This coming quarter, I'll be taking classes that support the biz econ track really more than the econ track. There are lots of overlaps, but in this case, it will be for the biz econ. I had talked to my advisor a lot about taking biz econ, and it was a really scary process for me, even though it was such a minuscule jump. I didn't want to make it seem like I was taking the easy way out and that I was just kind of taking blow-off classes. Straight up, my plan was just to take normal econ, until it was too hard, and then drop down to biz econ. When I looked at the required classes, I was enjoying the biz econ types more than the normal econ, so I don't know why I was considering it for so long, but that's what UChicago does to you, I suppose. I think that I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, so I'm going to first talk about the origins of biz econ and where it comes from, and maybe that'll give you an idea of why people don't like it so much. Why it needs defending. Economics with a specialization in business economics is a relatively new major. It falls within the econ undergrad department, and it is one of technically 3 tracks. There's the normal econ, track A and track B. This normal track is kind of what they've been teaching the past 100 years or so. Very strong in math, very much for if you want to go into quant analysis kind of nonsense. Taking the normal track of econ would be a situation in which you are considering doing a PhD after you graduate, right? There's also the specialization in data science, which is very, very computer science heavy, very heavy in data analytics. And lastly, biz econ, our boy, which satisfies the goal of having a whole bunch of practical knowledge that you can use in a day-to-day business corporate world. So in June of 2018, our boy, again, John List of the Department of Economics, he has his own Wikipedia page, proposed the major. He said that he needed to wait for a few old people within the department to retire before he could propose such a radical degree. John List was responding to a whole bunch of complaints within the econ department that the degree was a bit too theoretical and didn't have enough practical knowledge that could be used once these students inevitably joined the corporate world. They wanted to be not so confused when they eventually went to an MBA program which taught a bunch of practical knowledge. I read that John List said that if nothing changes, then something's wrong. That was his philosophy. I should also note, though, that normal econ majors can take Booth classes, the business school at UChicago, but the business econ program would make those classes a bit more readily available and put a higher emphasis on them. Dean John Boyer had famously been a proponent of the biz econ major because there have been proposals of a business program from its founding to 1955. However, since its conception, the faculty that supported the business economics major made it very clear that this is not a pre-professional program, nor a business major, nor a shortcut to the job market. This is just an opportunity to learn some real-world skills with less theoretical math. However, the move to make a new program like biz econ was not going to come without a share of opposition. In late 2018, UChicago's newspaper, The Maroon, made a poll to approximately 200 students that asked their opinions about the new track. See? I can be impartial, Granted, this is a very, very, very small percentage of the total body of UChicago. 50% of students said that they were either opposed or strongly opposed to the new major. Before we get into the arguments, I think it's also very necessary to talk about the differences between the 3 tracks. What makes them different anyway? The main surprising subject for me is that biz econ actually only requires that you take 2 quarters of calculus instead of the normal 3 for any of the other econ tracks, which would have been really nice to know before I did all 3. Oh boy, did I suffer. Would have saved me so many tears and hardship. In the normal econ track, you can expect to take elements of economic analysis 1, 2, and 3, as well as a 4th quarter of math. After that, most people can expect to take linear algebra, statistics, and econometrics. People will do some sort of economic policy analysis or equivalent, and then a whole bunch of electives. There's a handful of pre-approved ones, but you can expect that they are in the realm of comp-sci, statistics, booth classes. Not to oversimplify, but the data science track is pretty much that, but then take all of those electives and just make them comp-sci ones. So, a bit more comp-sci. Business econ, however, kind of just throws that whole system for a loop. The one thing that I have noticed, though, is that most people that are in the business economics track usually are coming from a different track, so the required classes are a bit confusing because most people are already coming with some sort of credit from the normal track. So rather than doing math, and more math, people usually start in the biz econ track with a bit of macro and microeconomics. Then, a business economics major will do a Foundations of Economics course. There's a lot to choose from, so you get to kind of pick what your interest is. Next quarter, I'm going to be doing financial accounting, but that is one of many. There's investments. There's starting a venture or something. You can make your own business. It's fine. They're cool things. You can choose. Then we head to the methods side, in which you choose 2 classes that relate to micro and macro analysis. This can mean doing something like game theory and then going on into money and banking. Next is empirical analysis. This is actually the same as the normal econ tracks because the department believes that it's very important to get the basics of econometrics and statistics in your study. You know, these are just the basics of the profession and of the major. Now for the fun part. The next thing you need to do is take a class in perspectives. Now that's pretty much just a fancy way of saying to take something that somehow relates to the econ major. This is going to be your chance to go check out some different departments and see how they relate to economics. Now I believe it is the hope of the economics department that by taking these classes, you get some industry-specific knowledge that you can use in your future job. For instance, if you can find a class that somehow relates to econ in the linguistics department, you can take a class in linguistics and apply it to your econ degree. Now in terms of electives, the biz econ degree requires that you take 3 classes from Booth and then 2 electives from the econ department. Most undergrads kind of get last pickings for Booth classes, but it's not a big deal because there are lots of huge classes that most undergrads will take at Booth. A lot of biz econ majors are taking the same classes as the regular econ majors. People aren't gonna like this, but my counselor told me that when you graduate, even the biz econ track people get a degree that just says economics on it, so oops, we're all the same, sorry. What a nice transition to the bitchy arguments that I'm about to read out. Alright, let's get started. I found in my research that a lot of people that are writing these articles or writing these scathing reviews are people that are not in the biz econ track, and there's also a handful of people that are in the normal econ tracks and are just jealous. I'm going to read a couple out just so you can get the vibe of what I'm going for here. Where did I get these from? No other than good old Reddit. This dude from Reddit says, Biz econ is high school economics, severely watered down math, and some Booth classes. The frustration that many standard or data sci econ majors express towards biz econ is not against business. Most of us are going to be sellouts anyway. It's not even against the notion of a business major. Instead, we're pissed that the major is called economics with specialization in business economics. If the major were called business, or even business economics, as it was originally planned, those students would not be able to ride on the coattails of the economics department and would instead be forced to compete with the national glut of business majors. Dark Sky Knight writes, it's a joke track for people who cannot handle real economics. And that's not even the worst one. I read one that said, if you take biz econ, you were, quote, wasting your parents' money. That's cool. Enjoyed that. Overall, I would say that the general vibe coming from the student body is that the business economics track is simply not liberal artsy enough. It is the hope of the UChicago faculty that you learn all these highly theoretical things, so that when you eventually get a job in this really specialized professional workplace, you can apply what you've learned to a broader slew of things. You know what? I actually like that plan. I think it's really cool that we have a core in which you're forced to learn all these things that have nothing to do with your major. I just took my final for STARS, which is a Phi-Sci core class, and it was really bomb. Like, I know now that when I'm using my star tracker on my phone and I read that it is 2 parsecs away, I know what a parsec is now. Like, those types of things are awesome. It's great. Plus, y'all already know how I feel about physiology in extreme environments. That biotopics class that I was forced to take, phenomenal. But yeah, their complaint is that by taking a business major class, like I would in some podunk town, you would be missing out on this like classic UChicago theoretical experience. I don't think that people are allowed to criticize this major as selling out if that is the whole point why you spend hours upon hours applying to these very selective RSOs that have pre-professional aspirations. Then, when you get into such UChicago business RSOs, then you maintain its exclusivity. It just kind of forwards this question of why do we need a business economics major in the first place? Perhaps it's because we're learning all these highly theoretical things and we want some hard skills to accompany it. We apply to these highly selective business RSOs to try to learn those hard skills, and then we're denied. A person being interested in the biz econ track is the same reason why you are so interested in your investment RSO. Lastly, the concern is that the biz econ track is just low rigor because there isn't the same amount of theoretical math as the other programs. People outside of the business econ major criticize people in biz econ because they think that these people just want to get through the degree as easy as possible and not learn anything, which is absolute ridiculousness if you really think about it, or lightly think about it, frankly. They're scared that by being a biz econ major rather than a normal econ major, they might be inhibiting their ability to be able to go to an MBA school in the future. That's fair, however, I will point out that this major has only existed for 2 years, so it's really hard to say how these people will do in the future. And we'll talk a bit more about that, So like I was saying, I found a lovely comment in the bottom of an article that tells a little bit about what I'm thinking right now. Someone wrote, "No academic institution of the caliber of the University of Chicago offers a business major, unless one includes the Wharton School, which, lest we forget, spawned Donald Trump. MIT has a business major, so does Berkeley. Both are top caliber academic institutions. There are just so many other business major tracks at other high profile schools, so there's no reason that UChicago can't also do that. People that go through those programs are doing totally fine, and there's no reason that UChicago students wouldn't also do fine as well. Plus, if you want to be one of the first people with a degree like yours, then this would be an awesome time to enroll in a biz econ program." Next is my argument that might be a little bit less obvious. I personally find theoretical math really hard, but I think my interpersonal skills are a lot higher. So really, I'm just playing to my strengths, of course, right? Some people are super into math, and then speaking in front of a crowd is much harder for them. It's the same reason behind why we have so many different options for our arts core, and that you don't have to take 2 quarters of art. You can just take 1 if you're not super into it, or you think that art is hard. Art, like math, isn't hard for all people, but it's that same thought that supports the biz econ program. The faculty at UChicago, a private university, has the job of making money for that university. We had to have gotten that $9 billion endowment somehow. The school won't make money if the university students don't graduate with a good degree, get a good job, and then give thousands and thousands of dollars to the university every year. You know, I don't doubt that there will be some things that I will miss by being a biz econ major. That's fair. I mean, that's a given for any major, right? A lot of the professionals that I talked to thought that the biz econ major was a great idea because a lot of the people that they hire just don't know a lot about the industry as a whole. The employers feel like it's their job to catch them up. That probably shouldn't be the case considering that you just spent 4 years of your life learning to go into that job. Hopefully when I go into the corporate world, I'll have that sort of experience and I can apply that early on and hopefully gain the favor of my boss. So if you are considering getting a corporate job and not becoming a professor of economics or a PhD student, then biz econ might be the move for you. Lastly, my opinion, the classes in the biz econ major are just fun. Obviously, they should challenge you, right? That's what college is for. But if you're looking at the course requirements for the econ major and you're thinking, that's not really doing it for me, you're probably not going to want to spend the next 3 years of your life learning econ. Maybe biz econ is right for you. So because I'm not a fan of theoretical calculus, I would much rather take a course in macroeconomics. I just felt it in my gut that that was what was right for me. And I think that there are lots of people like me who will feel the exact same way when they look at the course requirements for business economics. I understand that there are lots of people that will just kind of push through doing economics rather than biz economics just because of the stigma around taking biz economics. And then it comes into a carpe diem situation where it's just like, why would you ever do something that you don't want to do? Like, fine, sell out. But you can probably sell it as a biz econ major too, so what does it really matter? Plus, your GPA will probably be higher in whatever classes that you like the most, whether that's econ or biz econ or data science. So just take the classes that you like and enjoy college. I don't know, that's I guess the final thought here. So this has been a roller coaster. That is my 2 cents. I hope that this video gave you a bit of information from both sides as to the validity of the biz econ major. I'm not here to start fights, but you guys should know how I feel as someone who's essentially a biz econ major at this point. Not yet declared, but we're getting there. I feel very passionate about the subject, so you can definitely DM me on Instagram about this. But I did write this whole 2,300 word essay to support my argument. Finals are done. Winter break time. Okay. I will see you guys later. Remember to like and subscribe. Bye!